I do recall in previous times when we were awarding contracts that persons who had been previously engaged on work who might have been seen to have an inside awareness of opportunities and values and interests, that they were, I guess, properly excluded from being candidates for follow-on contracts. I think that was a general principle that was established. And so if that is right, perhaps somebody could explain to me the progress around the communications contracts that are in play at this time, if you wouldn't mind, Chair.
Through you, Mr. Chair, that is not a clause in the purchasing policies. What has happened in the past is when there is a deemed conflict of interest, and however that is defined in the specific circumstances, then someone is precluded. And there were some specifics around the project where some of the consultants that had been hired to do certain amounts of work were deemed to have a conflict with regards to some other work. That is a different set of circumstances than having a short-term contract for a specific amount of work and then having another contract, again, for a specific amount of work.
If I may, Mr. Chair, thank you. Thank you for that. I'm a bit discomforted because I believe that work done does provide sometimes, and quite often, an inside perception and relationships that influence outcome. And I see in this particular case, I don't want to go into in-camera matters here, but I do see in this particular case that there is an interest, and has been expressed to me privately, of was this an open contest? And I leave that for your better judgment, Chair, but it is a matter that needs to have attention paid to.
Mr. Sweetnam.
I think I need to address this because I wouldn't want to leave this erroneous feeling on the table. Specifically in terms of conflict, let's first look at McLaughlin. Anybody that had inside information that could benefit one way or another to make the competition unfair has been listed as a restricted party. Exactly the same thing happens on every one of our procurements, including the communications. You need to recognize as well that the CRD is a large organization, and if you have a policy in place that if somebody works for you, they can't work for you again, or if they work for you on the advanced part of a project, they can't work on the main project, then you will not be able to do business in this community because people will never bid your jobs. What you need to recognize is that we have put in place a procurement process that is fully transparent. The bids for the communications have gone out to the market as a whole across Canada. Anybody can bid that wants to bid. The work that Acumen Communications did in their initial contract is on the website, and that product was basically the communications plan. That is available to everybody to base their bids on. What we're looking for is a firm to implement that plan. So there is no bias. There's no advantage to the people that did the initial communications plan, and that's the way that the CRD proceeds. If we proceeded differently, we would not get bidders that would be prepared to help us in the planning phases of our projects. We need to have these small pieces of work done so that we can implement large projects. If we do it any different way, we would not have this happening.